I think I'll take these sunflower seeds and this packet here. Yeah.
They look wonderful. I agree. Let's get them.
Morning, soft sunlight gently slipped through the wooden window of the small house where Toan and Ly Tu Diem had moved in the day before. The fresh air carried the scent of young grass and damp soil after the night rain, making the entire space feel incredibly peaceful. Toan woke up early, stepped onto the porch, and looked at the wide piece of land in front of the house, which would soon become the vegetable garden and chicken coop they had always dreamed of. Ly Tu Diem softly walked up beside him, wearing a thin sweater over her shoulders, her hair still slightly messy from sleep. She smiled and said that today would be the very first day they truly began building their new life. The two stood there quietly for a while, imagining rows of ripe red tomatoes, sunflowers blooming in front of the porch, and the cheerful chirping of baby chicks every morning. In their hearts rose a feeling of excitement mixed with happiness, as if a dream they had cherished for so long was finally about to become real. The calm morning light seemed to bless the beginning of a beautiful life together. After looking at the wide piece of land in front of the house, Toan and Ly Tu Diem went back inside. The house was still quite empty, with only a small wooden table and a few unopened boxes. Ly took out a cream-colored notebook, carefully sat down, and began writing a list of everything they needed for their new life. She softly read each item: tomato seeds, greens, cucumbers, sunflower seeds, a hoe, a shovel, a watering can, a chicken feed container, several flower pots, and an outdoor table set for the porch. Toan stood behind her, looked at the list, and laughed, saying that today they were not just buying things, but buying their dream. They looked at each other with eyes full of joy and hope. The morning became brighter as Toan drove the old pickup truck out of the gate. The red dirt road leading to town stretched through green rice fields reaching the horizon. Ly Tu Diem sat beside him and rolled down the window, letting the cool breeze flow in. She took a deep breath of the scent of young rice and softly smiled, saying that this feeling was truly freeing. Toan looked at her with a gentle smile. In the car, they continued discussing how to arrange the garden, where to plant vegetables, and which corner of the yard should become the chicken coop. Their first stop was an old seed shop at the corner of the market. Seed packets were neatly displayed in many colors and varieties. Ly Tu Diem picked up a packet of sunflower seeds, her eyes glowing brightly. She said she wanted to wake up every morning and see bright yellow flowers blooming in front of the house. Toan chose tomato, green vegetable, and chili seeds so they could grow their own food. After buying the seeds, they entered the farm tool shop. Shiny shovels, sturdy hoes, and watering cans were neatly displayed. Toan tested a hoe and nodded in satisfaction. Ly chose a lovely green watering can. The poultry section was at the far corner of the market, where the sounds of birds and baby chicks filled the air. As soon as she arrived, Ly Tu Diem was immediately drawn to the tiny golden chicks crowded inside a bamboo cage. They hopped around and chirped continuously, making her laugh with delight. She gently bent down and lifted one chick into her palm. Its soft and warm feathers gave her a wonderful feeling of comfort. Toan stood beside her, and seeing the bright smile on her face made his heart feel warm as well. The seller explained that these chicks were strong, easy to raise, and would grow quickly. After discussing it together, the two decided to buy 10 chicks to begin the very first flock of their farm. Ly Tu Diem carefully observed each one, choosing the most active and healthy chicks. When the small cage was placed in the back of the truck, she could not hide her excitement. She imagined waking up every morning to the cheerful chirping of the chicks running around the yard, bringing life and joy to their new home. After buying the chicks, Toan and Ly Tu Diem continued to a wooden furniture shop at the front of the market. The space inside was filled with the pleasant scent of fresh wood, and small sets of tables and chairs were neatly arranged. Ly Tu Diem stopped in front of a light oak dining table with a smooth and elegant surface. She gently touched the tabletop and smiled softly, imagining the mornings when the two of them would sit there together, drinking tea and having breakfast. Toan also chose 2 comfortable chairs with backrests and a vintage-style hanging lamp to place in the kitchen. They even bought a small wooden shelf for flower pots on the porch. Every item was selected carefully, not only for its usefulness but also because it would help create their new home. In Ly Tu Diem's eyes shone a quiet happiness, as if every piece of furniture was slowly turning their dream of a peaceful farm life into reality. She could already picture the warm evenings, the scent of tea, and the soft light filling the little house they would soon call home. As they were leaving the market, the bright blue sky suddenly turned gray. Dark clouds moved in quickly, and only a few minutes later, a spring rain unexpectedly began to pour down. Large raindrops hit the roofs and the road with a steady rhythm, causing people nearby to quickly search for shelter. Toan immediately took off his jacket and gently placed it over Ly Tu Diem's shoulders to keep her from getting wet. The two of them stood close together under the small roof of a nearby shop, watching the curtain of rain falling in front of them. The air became cooler and fresher, carrying the comforting scent of wet soil and spring breeze. Ly Tu Diem softly leaned her head against Toan's shoulder and smiled, saying that the rain was beautiful. Toan looked at her with gentle and loving eyes. Under that little roof, surrounded by the sound of rain and the lively atmosphere of the market, the moment felt warm and unforgettable. It was not simply a sudden shower, but their very first precious memory in the journey of building a new life together on their farm. After the rain, the sky slowly cleared and a soft rainbow appeared in the distance. Toan started the truck and began the journey back to the farm. In the back were seed packets, gardening tools, their new table and chairs, and the small cage filled with the chirping baby chicks. Ly Tu Diem sat beside him, holding the bouquet of sunflowers they had just bought, her eyes filled with joy and hope. The road home seemed even more beautiful after the rain, with the green fields sparkling under the fresh sunlight. She turned to look at Toan and softly said that this truly felt like the beginning of the life she had always dreamed of. Toan smiled, gently held her hand, and nodded. In that moment, both of them clearly felt that they were bringing home not only supplies and furniture, but also their hopes, plans, and dreams for the future. The truck moved slowly along the peaceful countryside road, carrying them back to the small house that would soon become their warm and loving home. When they arrived home, the golden light of sunset had begun to cover the wide land in front of the house. Without resting for long, Toan and Ly Tu Diem immediately started arranging everything. Toan carried the new tools from the truck and began turning the soil, preparing the first rows for their small garden. Ly Tu Diem gently opened the seed packets and carefully planted tomato, vegetable, and sunflower seeds into the soft earth, still moist from the rain. Nearby, Toan quickly built a small coop for the baby chicks in the corner of the yard. The cheerful chirping of the chicks filled the space, making the farm feel more alive than ever. The final sunlight of the day shone on both of their faces, making their smiles appear even warmer. Ly Tu Diem looked at the freshly planted garden and softly said, "Our new life has truly begun." Toan held her hand and gently replied that everything would bloom one day, just like the dream they had been nurturing together for so long. In the peaceful glow of sunset, the farm no longer looked empty. It already felt like home.